Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast with our host, Alan Porter. Alan, what's going on, man? How are you?
Well, I'm doing good today. It's about 85, 86 degrees out here in North Carolina, and hoping to go swimming tonight for the first time this year.
Oh, yes, it's that time of year, and especially in the South. Guess what? It's going to be earlier pool time than in the Northeast when it's late May. So it's good to be where you're located.
Well, today I want to discuss something that we've discussed before on this called Debt Free for Life. But I don't know if you've watched the news today. Have you seen what the government's trying to do now?
No.
People who've got good credit, they want to make equality in credit and let people, and this happened in 2008 when the mortgage crisis hit. And if that goes through, that's the same thing that's going to happen, because what they're going to do, people with good credit are getting lower interest rates. Well, people with bad credit weren't getting loans because they couldn't make their payments. And now they want to be able to give them loans. It's going to be a fiasco if that goes through. But people understand good credit is one of the most important things that you can have in your life. And getting out of debt is right there on top of everything else.
Exactly.
So let me go ahead with this short video, PowerPoint presentation. This is my Debt Free for Life. Some of you have seen it before, some of you haven't. But this is very, very important because 83% of the people in the United States are in debt to the tune of $17 trillion. I want you to understand how the snowball effect works. You hear Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman talk about it all the time. You know, you'll have all these debts, and you just go one by one and pay them off. Well, this is the snowball effect in action. Let's say you have a credit card worth $1,847 and a student loan debt of $22,318. And then an auto loan of $27,905. Well, your payments on these, your minimum payments are $71,643 and $413. That makes your total payments about $1,127 a month. But this is what the snowball effect does. What they'll do is they'll take the money in this minimum payment and they'll pay it off, and it goes down to this one, add that to this minimum payment, they'll pay that off, and they'll go here. But what they'll also do, just like I showed you right there, just keep paying it off, but you're compounding interest for your financial institutions, not yourself. But what we want to do is, let's say that you have excess of $500, okay? Now, what Dave Ramsey says, let's take that $500 and add it to this credit card payment. Then make a payment of $571. And when that credit card payment is due, then we'll take that $500 in that credit card payment and pay it to the student loan. And when that's paid off, we're going to take that money and we're going to pay that to the car payment. And when that balance gets big enough, then that's paid off. You're making a payment of $1,627.
Right.
But again, what you're doing is you're paying payments to a financial institution, and that money's compounding for them and not for you. You will become debt free probably 2 to 3 months earlier, but you have nothing left. There's no cash value. There's many benefits on the Debt Free for Life program that we do with Smart Advisor. You know, this is one of his brilliant statements, just one of them. Compound interest is the 8th one in the world. Those who understand it will benefit from it, and those who don't, Neil, are going to pay it. And guess what? 99% of people out there are going to pay it because they do not understand the effective interest cost or how compound interest works. And that's what we do, is we educate people on this. But guess what? Like I said, if you're in debt, you're the one that pays it. But what we do, instead of taking that $500, what we do is we set up an SDIC, a specially designed insurance contract, okay? And what we'll do is we'll fund that with the excess monthly budget of $500. You continue to make your monthly payments on all these. But when this balance gets big enough in the specially designed insurance contract, the SDIC, you're going to get a text from your phone on your phone that says, take a loan out from your insurance policy and pay this credit card off. So when that credit card's paid off, you don't take that $71 and add it to this debt. You take it and pay yourself back in your cash value relationship insurance, compounding interest for you and not the financial institutions. And when that debt gets big enough, you get a note, pay that student loan off, and now take those 2 payments and pay them back into your SDIC. And when that loan gets big enough, guess what? We're going to pay off that car. But now, instead of having our debts all paid off, which we are debt free, we've got a debt free tax bucket of money, tax free bucket of money that you can use to possibly become your own bank, do many things. You may not ever have to borrow from the bank again to buy a car, to buy possibly even a house. When you're completely debt free, like I said, and you have cash money in your account, tax free cash money. Now, if you didn't do anything, it would take you 7 years to pay these debts off. Using that snowball, it would take you 3 years with the additional $500. But if you do the tax-free for life account with Smart Advisor, it's a little bit longer. It's 5 months longer. But look at here.
Yeah.
$17,618 in a tax-free bucket of money, and that's not to say anything about the death benefit, which probably $200,000 or $300,000. So what would you rather do? Would you rather do this, or this?
Makes complete sense that.
Yeah. But see,
what if you have lots of money and you do certain things like this? Would this really increase your ability to earn, to be able to play with your money instead of putting it in the market where it's not, you can't touch it as well? You know what I mean? And you can't do so.
If you got a lot of money, you can do what they call a single premium life insurance policy, where you have that money available to you, and still, bank on yourself. As an example, let's say you have $100,000 and you put it into one of these companies that I work with. It's a whole life company, which means, a mutual company. It's a whole life company, and they look out for the policy owners, not the stockholders. But as an example, you've got $100,000 in that account, and you want to buy a $50,000 car. All right, you can go to the bank, and let's say it's a 0% loan. You can pay the bank over a 5-year period $10,000 a year, correct? All right, at the end of that 5 years, you got a car now that's maybe worth $30,000. But you've lost that $50,000. It's never going to compound for you again. It's only compounding for the financial institution. But if you take that money from your cash value life insurance, okay, and pay it back, pay yourself back $10,000 a year for 5 years, not only will you have a car that now is worth $30,000, but you also have the $50,000 that you paid yourself back, plus the death benefit that you can use for long-term care tax-free, or a beneficiary for your beneficiaries tax-free. And on top of this, Neil, since it's a non-direct recognition company, they have to pay you dividends on the original $100,000 in that account, even though you borrowed $50,000.
Yeah.
You're leveraging your money 3 to 1, basically. But this is the thing that people don't understand. It's effective interest cost. And when I tell people about this, that a light bulb just goes off. Like this person, he had a 3.2% interest rate. We asked him, what's your effective interest cost? He says, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, Neil, 99% of people I talk to have no idea, to include CPAs, attorneys, and financial advisors, and bankers, believe it or not. The effective interest cost in this is 43.08%. And everybody asked me the same thing. How is that possible, Alan? I said, because it's not going to get down to that 3.2% interest rate until the last few months of the mortgage. Now, if you look at these bills right in here, their effective interest cost is 25%. What financial vehicle are you investing in that's making 25%?
Not many.
And usually these effective interest costs running anywhere from 40 to 60%, and sometimes more. But think about that. What financial vehicle are you investing in your 401k or anything else that's giving you a 25% return on your money? Because what this means, Neil, is 25 cents of every dollar that you pay out goes to a financial institution, compounding for them and not for yourself.
Crazy.
So let's see what happens. Like I told the guy, this is not your problem. The 327, the debt's not your problem. The effective interest rate was the problem. But this is what we did. 100% paid off in 2039, but we did it by June 27, 2028, and saved you $49,650. Wow. Debt free and tax in 6 years, paid off $327,000, and by year 9, following our plan, they've got $227,000 in a tax-free account that they can do
Nice.
anything they want with. It does not affect the taxation of Social Security or the means testing for Medicare Part B. There's no required minimum distribution. That's tax-free money. Now, this is just a short presentation, but I want to show you one more client I recently did. But you can contact me at 910-551-1046. Again, that's 910-551-1046. Or you can contact me at my email address. I see I made a mistake there. It's strategic wealth, the number zero, not zero, the number zero at gmail.com. I'll have that fixed. But contact me either way, and I'll show you what we can do for you. Now, I want to show you one more other thing.
Sure.
Now, this is the program or the illustration that we prepare for people. There's no charge for it. We're paid by the insurance companies. And I've had 3 people call me, well, how much is it going to cost me? I said, it's not going to cost you anything. Dave Ramsey charges $3,500,
Right.
putting you further in debt. But this is what we do. This is a client that I had. I just renamed the test for
Right.
privacy. I always have a disclosure. But look at down here. He had a 2.75% interest rate. His effective interest cost was 49.76. He asked me the very same question. How's that possible? And then I told him, just like that $461,000 in debt is not your problem. 46.23% is your problem. That's
Right.
what you're paying out every month. For every dollar you pay, 46 cents for every dollar. And I said, how much money you're putting in your 401k? He said, $1,000 a month. I said, wouldn't it make sense to pay this debt off first and then contribute to your 401k? You could probably be putting $2,000 in your 401k, if not more. Because look at the size of these payments. So the other thing I asked him, I said, when are you going to have your debt paid off? He said, a little over 20 some years. He said, we're paying extra on the mortgage. I said, well, I think we can have it paid off a little over 10 years. So let's look what we did for him. We saved him 14.17 years on his mortgage, saved him $73,000 in interest. But that's not all. This just shows how we paid everything off, what dates paid off. That's following our plan. But this is what we got him: $130,744 in a tax-free account with a $400,000 death benefit.
Wow.
And he can use tax-free for his beneficiaries or tax-free for long-term care. That's a $204,000 in savings.
That's great.
I mean, this is what we can do when you do my debt-free for life SMART program. You know, SMART stands for Smart Movement Around Retirement Taxation. Well, we can get you retirement, that smart movement right there, but we got to get you debt-free first.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Now, this is kind of a short podcast today, but it was very, very important because people, like I said, 83% of people in the United States are in debt to a tune of $17 trillion. And I read some article probably last month, but they've already charged $61 trillion to credit cards since the first of the year. And with our massive inflation, people can't decide whether they charge a credit card to put food on the table or gas in the car. And because gas is going to go up tremendously this summer, people don't think about it, but you know, they're making deals with the United States not making any deals. China and Russia are making the deal. And of course, they shut our oil production off, which I don't understand, but that's beyond me. And but I just want to show people how to take advantage of what's available out there. This is not complicated.
No.
But I want you to educate yourself and think outside the box. Okay?
All right, Alan, what it really does is it shows you specifically enough. You could be your own banker, pay off your debt, live debt-free for life, but not feel broke like the other plan. You have money that you can spend throughout, enjoy your life, enjoy doing fun things, and yet saving money at the same time. The other one doesn't do that. No, you become broke. You have everything paid off. You don't have any dollars to do anything after.
And then you got everything paid off, but then you turn around and get yourself in the same situation because they don't have any money to buy anything. But when you got money in a tax-free account, like you said, you can become your own bank, pay yourself compound interest and not the financial institutions.
Exactly. All right, Alan, that was great. All right, that was Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast, guys. Take care.